What's up, everybody? Well, I got another gameplay video for you guys today. Today we're going to be checking out Cyberpunk 2077 because I never made a video on it, going through all the different resolutions. We just did like a quick 5-minute video or whatever back when I was doing gameplay number videos and just picking 3 random games and doing them real quick. So, also, they just released the 1.5 patch, so I've been meaning to see how it improved. But why don't we go and check out some settings? So, real quick, we are just going to look at this screen because we're not coming back to it anymore, but just showing you're running at 1080p pretty much, no HDR, no VSync, and no MX FPS. So, now let's go look at our settings, shall we? Now let's have a quick look at the low settings really fast. All this stuff seems to be basically turned off, which makes sense for low. Yep, and if I go too fast, you can always pause, and if I go too slow, you can always skip ahead. And we'll do all that later. Ray tracing and fidelity, or FSR at the end. So, now let's get into some gameplay. Now for a little bit of some low gameplay here. I'm gonna start off like usual with the screen capture, as you can plainly see. I was gonna try to steal their stuff, but they'll probably try to kill me. So let's just run around a little bit, try to keep it around 2 minutes. But if we go a second or two over, who's counting? I'll just try not to let it be like 3 minutes each, other because this video is gonna be long as hell if I don't rein myself in and be more perfect with the times, at least with this video, because there's so much to cover. We gotta test FSR, we gotta test ray tracing, and we have to test FSR and ray tracing combined. So far at low, we're getting excellent FPS. And it doesn't look completely awful. Doesn't look great hearing right home about either. Let's shoot these people for no reason. Ow, they're angry at me. I need to heal. Must flee, or I will die. How do I heal? X, okay. Been a while since I played this, so it's gonna take me a second to get back in. And I can't see my health, hopefully that's enough. Oh shit, I missed. Got him. Hit him. Didn't kill him, and now I gotta reload. Let's get back to cover, damn it. Cover! There we go. Got it. And now let's heal. And now let's move on. Starting out the camera portion with some low gameplay here. Got myself into a little bit of a pickle here. Did I get them though? Well, I did now. You know what? I don't think we have any sound. take that. Okay, well, I'll have to go fiddle with that. We definitely have to have sound. Alright, that should be good enough. I'm gonna go figure out why it doesn't have sound, and we'll move on to the next graphics setting. Now we'll move along to medium settings. So let's just quickly look over those real fast here. And again, we're doing ray tracing and FSR at the end. So I will be leaving those off for now. And now let's get into gameplay. Now for some medium gameplay here. Screen recorded, of course. Oh yeah, can't run with that thing. Makes sense, that thing is ginormous. Uh-oh, I've been detected. Go away, stupid camera. I have no time for you. Ooh, I'll take that. I can either rip it apart or sell it. Because I do need ammo. And I can make some ammo if I craft. Run down the street a little bit here, seeing as the running seems to make the FPS drop more. Let's run across here, I guess. Hopefully I don't get hit. Though I'm sure I'll get hit by a car at least once. Oh, can't go down it. That might have been like a little small alleyway or something like that. Alright, we'll go across the crosswalk. We'll do this shit legit. I crossed that street all legal like. Now that's a little alleyway. Oh. Those people are bad people. Anyway, it's time to move on. Alright, time to do some medium camera recorded gameplay. There we go. Need more ammo. Holy cow, I'm totally going so fast. Ah, fuck. Oh, that sucked. They walked right up and just killed me. But I am on the hardest difficulty, so makes sense. Alright, let's see. I think that's it. Got too many damn game saves. I gotta remember, if I'm gonna snipe, do it from a long distance away. Since a little bit of that was loading, let's just run around for a few more seconds here. But I figured I'd do more than just run up and down the street like I did before. More exciting to go around getting the battles and whatnot. Not gonna win all of them, as you just saw, but hey, it makes things more interesting. Alright, now let's move on to the next graphics setting. Now we're gonna do some high. So let's just look over the settings real quick, because this game actually got a lot, and a lot changes, so it's actually worth taking a gander at the settings in between. No ray tracing, no FSR. We're saving that for later. And now, let's move on. Now we're gonna do some high screen recorded gameplay.
You stink of junk food.
Apparently I stink of junk food, apparently. Definitely some interesting outfits in this future, that is for sure. Very strange advertising, too. Those are people I could attack.
With Capitan Caliente's world famous tacos, now in Wheels. $1 for a ocean of
Well, if you hit them right in the head, they seem to go away pretty easily. Come on. Oh, I missed. She almost got me, though. I got a heal. Oh, shit. She's one of those people where that just deflects against. Alright, I'm getting shot from, like, behind, too. Like, what the F's going on here? Oh, shit. Alright. Now let's heal and get the heck away from all that nonsense. Alright, though. I'd say it's about time we move on, since time is of the essence. Now we're moving right along to some high camera recorded gameplay now. Let's see here. Cool dragon. Yep, this is another game that pushes that CPU pretty hard. So even with my cooling pad, we are approaching 90. Well, we're in 90, 91C still. But it'd probably be sitting around 96, 97. If I didn't have this cooling pad. Ah, missed him. Alright. Reload this thing again. This thing takes forever to reload and it doesn't have a lot of shots, but damn does it kill quick. But alright. Why don't we just move on to the next graphics setting? Now we're going to do some ultra settings. So let's look over them. Pretty much everything is pretty much maxed out. There's a couple things that have insane, but no point in really using those. That kills frames way too much on this laptop. Unless you're willing to give other stuff up to make them insane. But video was already long enough, so I didn't want to mess with that. And again, all that stuff we'll do at the end. Moving on time. Now we got ultra settings here. So let's just play around for a short while here. Yeah, let's be able to run. Alright, they're toast. Alright, let's... Yeah, pull this guy out. Hard to aim, though, against these people. There we go. Yeah, for some reason over here I can't see my crosshair. Well, take that. Now I heal. And now I reload. Alrighty though. Let us just move right along now. Now for some ultra gameplay here. Oop, got ran over by a car. It's not a Cyberpunk video if I don't at least get hit by one car. So many people on the damn sidewalk. Alright, no, you definitely can't, Misty. You can't eat cords. We're not gonna do that. Alright. Get through this giant group of people here. Hopefully not get run over by more cars. Try to find more fights to get into or something. Well, looks like we're not going to find any fights to get into over here. Let's cross the street and go back over on this side. Well, there's a bunch of cops. I don't want to fight them. I'll lose. See, look at that. They're already pissed off in. Screw both of you. You leave me alone. I'm making YouTube video. Well, alright. Let us move on. Now we're going to move on to some ray tracing. So, let's just look at what the ray tracing settings all change. And there we go. As you can see, it's medium, and we're not doing that quite yet. And now we'll move on. So, here we are with ray tracing on medium now. Just run around. We've dropped down to about 30 FPS, but I wasn't expecting us to get super high FPS once we started including ray tracing, but maybe that'll improve once we try out FSR. Only time will tell. We'll check that out at the end as soon as we're done going through just regular ray tracing. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do 2 minutes of everything. I figured ray tracing wasn't going to be the best FPS, so I figured I'd limit that stuff to a minute. And then same thing with FSR. A minute is plenty to see how it runs and how it looks. Glad this game's at least letting me screen record, unlike some other Vulkan games. And what's weird is, why did it let me record when I'm on the laptop but not when I'm on an external monitor? That's what doesn't make any sense. Like, at least just don't record at all and give me false hope. Anyway, let's move on. Here's some ray traced medium camera gameplay here. I'm interested to see, well, that's interesting. That guy kind of just jumped up onto the rail like he was about to. Hell yeah, this is still a Cyberpunk I remember. It's still a fun game, but lots of little bugs, and it's nice to see there's still lots of little ones here and there. But I figure for this we'll just do a minute or so. I'm not going to try to fight anybody either getting 30 FPS. That doesn't ever usually go well. Probably wouldn't care if this wasn't on the hardest difficulty, but as you saw, people hit me like once or twice and I'm like dead. Alright, let's move on. Moving right along to some ultra ray tracing now. So why don't we just look over what that entails? And there we go. Let's move on. Now we've got ray tracing on Ultra. And as you can plainly see, it turns this into a stutter fest. But that's okay, we're just getting a minute of footage we can pull on through. It's not like we're getting in any battles right now. Well, we reached a minute, so it's time to move on. Now for some ultra ray traced gameplay on the camera here. As you can see, it is not very spectacular, but hopefully it'll be more playable once we start messing around with the FSR. Seeing as though they added that to this game too. So we'll be sure to test that out as well, of course. I'm trying to be as thorough as possible these days in these games. Alright, I ain't messing with you guys. I'm going over here and hopefully not get hit by a car in the process. And across the street I go. And with that, let us move on. Now we're going to start FSR, so basically I just put the game on Ultra, but it makes it custom every time I turn that on, so that's why it doesn't say that. So we're just going to go over the settings one time so you can see them. I'm going to cruise through it every time after that. Ray tracing's not on yet. We're going to do that last and combine that with this. But we're going to do Ultra Quality first, so now let's get into gameplay. Starting off the FSR with Ultra Quality here. So let's just run around for a quick minute.
Don't drop me.
For a second I thought I almost saw the Joker walking by.
Maldita sea. ¿Quieres pelear?
Alright, that's that minute mark. Moving on time. Now we're starting off FSR at Ultra Quality here, with the game on Ultra as well. I figured that'd be a good way to do things and really test it out. Of course, we're going to test out ray tracing with it too, as long as the game lets me. That is the freaking creepiest fucking thing in the entire world. I would never buy that soda in a million years. Anyway. Just get like a quick minute or so of each of them, because we don't want the video to be 2 hours long. And we already got 2 minutes of all the basic things. And we got like a minute of all the ray tracings as well. Okay, let's move on to the next FSR setting. Now we're going to go to FSR Quality. Everything here is staying the same. I'm not messing with any of this stuff unless changing that thing down there messes stuff. Other than that, it's staying the same. So there we go, it's on. So now let's move on. Now we're on FSR Quality. So again, let's just run around a little bit here. See how she does. They sure did add a lot more people in these updates. Well, might not have been this update. I haven't necessarily played this game through every single update. But sure seems like a lot more people walking around since the last time I played. Well, that didn't work out. At least I didn't die. Now for some FSR Quality. Camera recorded. Don't want to go there yet. The hell does this go? Did I just find like some secret tunnel? Well, in any case, let's not go in a tunnel. That's going to be absolutely terrible and worthless for us to actually get any useless or useful data out of it. Because all we're looking at in there is a bunch of concrete. We need to be out here where we can see all the stuff. Alright, that is good enough. Let's move on to the next FSR setting. Now we're going to do balanced, so let's just go look through the settings extremely quick. Go down here to show you that I'm running balanced, and there we are. And now we will move on to gameplay. Here's a little balanced FSR gameplay now. Well, there we go. We're about reaching that minute mark here. So, now it is time for us to move on to the next FSR setting. Moving right along to the balanced FSR setting. Alright, cool. I didn't get hit by cars. Yeah, oh, that's a lot of garbage. I shall climb the garbage. Oh, cool. Ladders. Let's go up here. Alright, can't really go that way anywhere. Alright, we can go this way though. Sweet! Got back up to some more people in populated area. That's much better. But it's time for us to move on. Time for us to do performance FSR now, so let's just extremely quickly go right through all these. See, now you can see we're running on performance. So now we're going to get right into some gameplay. Here's some performance FSR gameplay now. Definitely starting to see quite a big drop in quality now, but it's probably putting that resolution quite low since this is only 1080p. It already didn't have very far to fall before it started becoming unacceptable as it was, so. Well, maybe I'm noticing it more because I'm sitting here watching this and recording the audio on a big old ultra wide, so maybe that's why. Maybe it wouldn't look so bad on the laptop screen itself. But I didn't think it looked that great. That's all I'm saying, even on the laptop screen. But I have pretty ridiculous standards, and I have ridiculously good vision. I have better than 2020. Alright, we are approaching that minute mark, so that means it's time for us to move on to the next setting. Well, technically, camera. Moving on to some camera performance FSR. I can definitely tell everything got a lot more fuzzy, that is for sure, but FPS definitely went up. I'm not gonna lie, I almost feel like I'm playing like the Nintendo Switch version, except for the fact that there's no way that thing would be able to get these kind of FPS with these like graphics quality settings. It's just the like, a lot of times the games kind of like AAA titles, I guess you would call them, run kind of bad on the Switch from what I've noticed, and can look a little muddy. There's that creepy advertisement again. No, I will not buy your weird soda, you creepy face man. let us move on. Doing some ultra performance FSR now. So, again, let's just go to the bottom. So there we go, see? Ultra performance. So, now we can get into the gameplay. And here we are in some ultra performance FSR screen record gameplay. Kinda looks like Nintendo Switch mode. So let's just whiz around through the city streets here real quick. Get us a little FPS data. Hopefully I'll get hit by that car, alright. Now, and then after we're done with this, then we will move into ray tracing and how it performs with FSR, which I'm very excited to test out. Across the road we go. And now we can move on. So now we are on Ultra Performance, which basically looks like someone smeared Vaseline all over your screen, to be honest. And in fact, it makes the GPU clock so low that you might get worse performance at times than you did in some of the other settings. But again, we're on 1080p. So, I don't think they ever intended us to go this low on FSR, but I just want to be thorough, so we're doing all of it. And as soon as we get about a minute of this, then we're going to move on to the ray tracing in FSR, as long as it'll let me combine the two. Some games don't, so that's why I say that. Ooh, almost got flashed by that blue car. Let me over the thing. Alright, and that is good enough. Let's try some ray tracing out now. Now we're going to start mixing and matching FSR and ray tracing. So we're going to start off with ray tracing medium. There's all the settings that entails. See, there we go. Everything here on medium. And we're going to start off with ultra quality. So let's see how it runs. So we've got ray tracing medium and FSR on ultra quality. So let's just run around a little bit and see how it does. I can already tell you it's a little improvement. At least in FPS, compared to what it was on stock, but not by much. Probably only by like 5-ish, 4 or 5. And it doesn't look bad. I got a guy outside plowing snow too, so hopefully the sound of him doing that isn't picked up too bad on the mic. But I'm glad he's doing it. We're getting a winter snowstorm right now. We're going to get anywhere from 4 to 8 inches. So, not a huge amount of snow, but enough for me to not want to go out there and plow the street anyway. I still got to go out and shovel my driveway, which is going to suck, but whatever. Good workout. So, I think it's good enough. Let's go move on. So this is getting confusing now, but now we're ray tracing medium with FSR ultra quality. Getting a little camera gameplay here, about a minute or so. And I'm hoping once we get down to like quality and balanced, we'll get closer to 60 even with ray tracing on medium. That would be cool. Because I already know once we get up to those like performance and all that, it just looks terrible. So who cares if you get your 60 if the whole point of ray tracing and all the ultra quality settings are all pissed away by making it look like Vaseline and low quality textures all over the screen because the resolution is so small, or so low rather, you know? Still a good technology though. Glad they implemented this into this game. They can just put FSR in like every game. Even the games that were kind of unplayable in this become playable. They might not look quite as good as they did before, but sometimes you gotta make sacrifices if you want playability. Anyway, let's move on. Now we're going to do medium ray tracing with quality FSR. So let's just look at the settings very fast here. As you can see, all that's on medium, and that is on quality. So now we can get into that gameplay. Now for some medium ray traced quality FSR. Little camera here. Run up the road. This is kind of dangerous. Probably gonna get hit by a car, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Just running down the highway. Let's go up here a little bit. Alright, never mind. That's probably going to take us out into the outlands, and we'll get way better FPS out there. Best place to stay for getting the testing FPS is definitely staying in the city. That is for sure. But let's move on now. Now we're going to do some medium RT with some balanced FSR. So there we go, medium and balanced. So gameplay it is. Now we got some medium RT with some balanced FSR. So let's just run around a little bit, see how that does. It's kind of cool, or at least getting over 60 right now. So that's at least cool with some ray tracing. And it doesn't look ungodly awful. I can definitely tell there's a little bit of something going on, but also getting decent frames, and I can definitely still see some ray traced lighting and all that shit, so this isn't bad. Well, there we go. I think it's about time for us to move on along. Now we got some ray tracing medium balanced FSR. So let's get a little camera gameplay in. Let's not get hit by that truck. Alright, I would like to get off the highway. I should never have come up here. Ooh, it looks like there might be an exit ramp up here. Maybe I can get off there and go back down to the right levels for pedestrians. I figured this was just another level of, like, walking around, but it sure isn't looking like it. Apparently I'm in Corpo Plaza. I'd just jump off the side if I wouldn't, like, die for pretty much a certainty. Well, definitely getting my fill of cars for up here, but it's time to move on. Now we're going to do medium ray tracing with some performance FSR. And there we go, as you can see, medium and performance. So, into the gameplay we will go. Now we got some RT medium with performance FSR. So let's run around and see how it does. I seem to have got myself into a predicament. So I'm just gonna jump off that bridge so I can get back around to some people. It's all good, we can always heal anyway. Still have 20-something of them. Gonna have to be a little more careful with the heals though. If I run out of those, I die so easily, I'll be definitely screwed. Man, there sure are a lot of people on this sidewalk. Anyway, though, it's time for us to move on. Get a little ray tracing medium performance FSR now. Do a little camera here. certainly are a lot of people in the city now, that's for sure. They definitely added even more of that. Alright though, let's move on to the last FSR. Now last for the medium ray tracing, we're going to combine it with Ultra Performance FSR. So there we go, we can see it's on Ultra Performance mode right here. So now let's try out some gameplay. And here we are with the Ultra Performance FSR mixed with some medium ray tracing. This definitely still looks awful. Not even getting good FPS because I think it's running so low, the CPU's bottlenecking, and it's not getting, GPU's not getting utilized enough for it to want to pump up to 2400 megahertz either. But whatever, we'll just pull on through anyway. All we have to do is run around for some data. Yeah, you better lie. Nope, I got no time for you right now, man. In any case, it's actually time for us to move on, so let's go ahead and do just that. Now we're on the last part of medium ray tracing and Ultra Performance FSR. And as you can tell, this is definitely Vaseline mode again. Even with ray tracing, what's the point when it looks like this? But I still want to be thorough and do every setting I can do. So we will. It's going to be a pretty long video, but hey, that's what happens when you're thorough. And I'm sure everybody will appreciate it, so I'm not even worried about it being a longer video. But alright, now let's go crank ray tracing up to Ultra and start the whole process over again. Now we're going to combine Ultra ray tracing with FSR and see how that does. So that's on Ultra as you can see, and that's on Ultra Quality, so let's see how it runs. So we got it on Ultra ray tracing, and we've got it on Ultra Quality FSR. So let's just run around for a little while. Seems like it's hovering around what consoles get when you turn them in the quality mode. About 30 FPS. Oh, going up to about 40 here and there too. Little drop below 30, but I'd say it's doing pretty good considering this is Ultra. Mind you, it's under 1080p right now since it's got FSR on, but still. Oop, thought I was gonna get hit by that car for a second, but I saw it out of corner of my eye last second. Ooh, a cool fish floating in the air. Alright though, why don't we move on to the next one. So now we're on Ultra Quality Ray Tracing, and we're starting off with Ultra Quality FSR. And now we're doing the camera section of that. Now Ultra Quality is not too different, so I wasn't expecting this to be too different, but hopefully we'll get closer to like mid 40s. Low 50s once we start getting to like the balanced and just normal quality. Because then that would be almost playable. You're getting closer to 60 at that point. Still not quite what I like, but everyone else might be able to play just fine like this. I don't know. Haha, I snaked in between. You didn't hit me, car. Take that. Assault in progress. Well, I would do that if I wasn't getting 30 FPS. But it's time to move on. Now we're going to do Ultra Ray Tracing with FSR on Quality mode. So just going to go past all that so you can see that this is all on Ultra, and this is on Quality, because that's all that really matters now. So, gameplay time now. Now for some FSR Quality with the ray tracing on Ultra. Alright, nice. We're getting up into the 40 FPS now. Let's see how we do when we run them. Yeah, we're still dropping under 40 a little here, but not by much, so that's cool. It's definitely an improvement, and it doesn't look bad. I think once you get under balance, that's when it really starts looking awful. At least when you're running at 1080p. I don't know what it'll be like once we go on to our 1440p ultra wide and 4K and all that, but we'll see when it comes to that time now, won't we? Out of my way, you large crowd of people. Alright, though. Why don't we just move on to the next one? Ultra ray tracing with Quality FSR now. Get a little camera gameplay now. And yeah, we're doing a lot better than 25 FPS, so it's definitely helping. Now remember, that's what we were at with no FSR. We were in the 25 to 18 range running around. And now we're in the 40s, which for me still isn't that playable, but I mean, I could play like this. I just wouldn't be very good at gunfights. So I'm hoping once we move to balance, we'll be close to 50. And performance 60, even though it look like crap. And then ultra performance, no matter what, it's going to look like crap. I don't care. It'll probably do what it did before, just get terrible FPS. Just because it's such low resolution that the GPU can't clock up. I believe that's why that's happening. But no. This is much better, though. This is almost double the FPS we were getting before without any FSR. And can I notice a difference? Yeah, a little bit. But I still like having the ray tracing on. Anyway, though, let us move on. Now let's just look at this FSR Balanced Settings with ray tracing on Ultra. That's on Ultra, and FSR is on Balance. So with that, we can move right into the gameplay. Alright, let's get us some FSR Balanced ray tracing on Ultra gameplay here. Oh, we were hitting 50 FPS for a second there. Oh, 52, nice. It's definitely making a small improvement, little by little. And this still doesn't look completely awful by any means. I can definitely starting to tell that there's something going on, but again, it's not the end of the world. It's still nice having those ultra ray tracing features for those who want it. This is a great way to get decent FPS and still have your eye candy too. But anything after this balance mode, and it starts looking really bad, at least in my opinion. But everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm just here to show you how it plays and what it looks like. I'm not here to pass judgment on how people play or how they want to play. Anyway, though, it's time for us to move on to the next setting. Ray Tracing Ultra and Balanced FSR now. We are definitely getting closer into that 50 FPS. A couple of times we did hit over a 50. I think we got up to 60. Or 56? Yeah, up to 56 at one point. Just for a second, though. Then we dropped more down to like the 40s, high 40s to low 50s again. Alright, time to move on. Now we're moving right along to Performance FSR with Ultra Ray Tracing enabled, and this is where it's going to start not looking so good, but we're still going to truck on through. I'm going to show you how it looks. There's Ultra and there's Performance, so let's get into that gameplay. Now we got some FSR Performance Ray Tracing Ultra. And as you can see now, everything kind of looks a little muddy, a little blurry. Out of my way, people. So many people.
Don't push me.
And with that, it's time to move on to the next setting. Now we got some ultra ray tracing with some performance FSR. We're finally getting close to 60, but it is looking pretty terrible now. But hey, at least I'm being thorough. We're going through all the damn settings this time. Only thing I didn't do is I didn't do the benchmark, A, because I didn't know it was there, and B, I figured this is long enough already. But if anybody wants to just see the benchmark, I can make a short little video just doing the benchmarks on all these real quick. Because I'd have to do a benchmark for every single solitary setting that we do. And that would probably add like 15 minutes, 20 minutes just of benchmarking, you know? Lack of empathy. Alright, let us move on to the last one. And last up, we're doing ultra ray tracing with ultra performance FSR. So as you can see, there's the ultra performance ray tracing, there's the ultra performance FSR, and now let's get into that game. Now we're gonna finish things up with some FSR ultra performance with ultra ray tracing. Though you wouldn't really know it by looking at it. It looks very similar to what I would expect like a AAA Switch game that the Switch has no business running to look like. Not really getting the best frames either, I think, because the resolution is so low. GPU just can't utilize. That's why we're only at like 1400 to 2000. Bounces all over the place. Anyway, though, let's just move on. So last up, we got ultra ray tracing with ultra performance FSR. Definitely looks terrible, but hey, at least we did all the different possibilities this time. No getting hit by a car. I'm away, everybody. Well, alright. That is good enough. And now I would say it's time to wrap this long video up. Well, that's just about a wrap for this long video, but at least we were very, very, very thorough. And we did all the ray tracing, we did all FSR, and we did FSR and ray tracing. Only thing I didn't do was benchmarks, because I figured it would just make the video way, way, way too long. So, if anybody is interested just seeing the benchmarks, I can make a separate just Cyberpunk benchmark video, if anyone's interested. Just let me know in the comment. But anyway, time to wrap this video up. Hopefully you enjoyed it, even though it's super long. And until the next one, peace out, guys.